How does an alibi defense work today? Have you ever wondered how someone can prove they were not at a crime scene? The answer often lies in an alibi defense. This strategy is used in criminal law when a defendant claims they were in a different location when the crime occurred. The main idea is to show that the defendant could not have committed the crime because they were elsewhere at that time. To make this defense work, the defendant must present evidence that supports their claim. This evidence can come from various sources. For instance, witness testimony can be powerful. If someone saw the defendant at a different location, that can help establish an alibi. Physical evidence is also important. This could include receipts from a restaurant, surveillance videos showing the defendant in another place, phone records, GPS data, or even employment time cards that prove where the defendant was during the crime. It is important to note that the defendant does not have to prove their alibi beyond a reasonable doubt. Instead, the prosecution must prove the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The alibi defense aims to create reasonable doubt about the prosecution's claims. If the jury has any reasonable doubt about whether the defendant was at the crime scene, they must acquit the defendant. There are some key elements to an alibi defense. First, the defendant must demonstrate they were at a different location when the crime took place. Second, they must show there was no reasonable opportunity for them to commit the crime. Lastly, they need to establish that no other means existed for them to be involved in the crime. From a criminal defense perspective, an alibi defense can be a strong strategy. It directly challenges the prosecution's case by negating the defendant's presence at the crime scene. If credible evidence supports the alibi, it can significantly weaken the prosecution's argument. However, preparing an alibi defense requires careful planning. Courts often requiring the defense to notify the prosecution about the alibi in advance. This includes providing details about witnesses or evidence that supports the alibi. If the defense fails to comply with these procedural rules, it can weaken their case. Additionally, corroborating evidence is essential. A mere claim without supporting proof may not be enough. In practical terms, criminal defense attorneys play a vital role in gathering and verifying alibi evidence. They prepare witness testimony and ensure compliance with court rules. The goal is to create reasonable doubt, which is key to securing an acquittal. In today's legal landscape, an alibi defense involves presenting credible, corroborated evidence that the defendant was somewhere else at the time of the crime. This approach negates the prosecution's claims and raises reasonable doubt about the defendant's guilt. By shifting the focus onto the prosecution, the alibi defense aligns with fundamental principles of criminal law.